I do acting, and so th- it's really hard to memorize lines when you don't have anyone to memorize them with you, because people get easily tired of memorizing lines with you. So, and there's not really a solution for this, so I wanted to make one. This is the text file, which is basically the script in a different format. So you start by writing all of the characters' names with commas separating them, and there's little characters in front of each of the names. So in front of all of the male characters, there's a little arrow, and in front of all of the female characters, there's a little star. So this basically tells the program, okay, so read this line with a female voice, or read this line with a male voice. And then after that, it just lists all the characters just like a normal script. And anything in these brackets are blocking lines, so these won't be read out loud.
Something to know about this graphic novel is that it's about three hitmen and a chef. And they move from city to city, constantly avoiding the danger because there are people who want to capture these people and they want to bring them to justice because, well, they're hitmen, they kill people, and that's some pretty rough work. Weird how they got into this, but they got into it due to how their lives just happened to turn out. And this entire thing is continuing to do these terrible, bad things to other people and realizing midway, hey, there's got to be something better. We can change. No matter how bad it may seem, it can always get better.
I found that one of the problems the kids have is, what do we do? How much do we do? Where do we stop doing it? And there really shouldn't be a ceiling. Do what you want. Go to the limits. In the program, what I've seen most with my daughter, from kindergarten to grade 8, whenever they got their, I call it a recipe, whenever they got their assignments, it was step by step, there was a rubric, they filled in the blanks, and they were done. When they got here, they were set free. There really were no rubric. I mean, they had guidelines, but they sort of removed the ceiling. I find that sometimes in the later grade school years, they would get to their level 4 and they would stop. And was there more to explore? Yeah, but I did what the recipe said, and I was done. And I find here through this program, they have gone over and above, and they just keep going. They keep digging deeper.
What I see is a lot of passion, and kids are exploring the things they love. I've talked to kids who are interested in zombies and how they've traveled from the 1930s to current day. I've talked to students who have created graphic novels. I even talked to a student who wrote a book and created a world to go with that book. And as a teacher, we always say things like, well, what subject area is that in? Well, she had created a map of her world that could easily have been a math assignment of patterning, or a geography project of creating worlds. The other thing that just completely impressed me today was students who were working with autism and trying to create the Wiggle Box, and they were programming and coding, and they were trying to figure out what's going on in a student's mind who suffers from autism, and to create something that helps them become successful in the classroom.
Okay, so the project that we were doing is repurposing old computers for better use, because of the computers that the board recycles don't always have fully broken parts. Some of the parts in them are usable. I also run a nonprofit organization called Hoops for Hope. It's part of Autism Ontario. So we go around raising awareness for autism, and we pay for programming for people around the city who don't have the supports that they need. So what I do is I write a referral to Autism Ontario for a certain amount of money, and then I raise money throughout the year and I give it back to them. In the second project we did, we learned how to write referrals and pitches. So I was going to think about writing a pitch to the board to explain my idea.
What do I see? A lot of wonderful passion projects that kids are exploring that make them happy, but really real world solutions.